Today is Monday, May 26th, 2025, and this is Read Through the Bible.
And today is Memorial Day.
Yes, it is. And so Memorial Day is to honor those who have given their lives in service to our country. But we also want to thank any of our listeners who have or do currently serve in the military.
Yep, because freedom comes at a price.
Yes, it does.
It comes at a price of war and people who give their lives, and we are thankful for the military. Also, we're recording this on Sunday night, and today was a sad day at church.
Right. We said goodbye to Betty Mengi, who is moving to Texas.
Yeah. She's just older, and she's going to move to where her son is, so her son can take care of her. And it's sad because she's been at our church for 20 plus years, 22, 23, 24 years. We've known her for a long time. Yeah. She experienced a lot of difficulties in her life, but she's super joyful, and just we're thankful for that. Yeah. So she will be missed. And I think it's maybe tomorrow that she gets on a car and travels to Texas. Wow. Or maybe she's flying to Texas, and maybe her son is driving back. I think she's flying. But I hope her travels are not like the travel of the Israelites.
I think it'll be a lot better.
Because the Israelites, we find them in Numbers chapter 33 today. And they have wandered in the wilderness. And chapter 33 is going to record all the different places in which they wandered. And what's amazing is it seems like they just went around and around and around in circles. In fact, in the show notes, I linked you to a map of where they went. And it's just kind of all around, all across the board. And so as we read 33, we're going to have a lot of different places. For those who actually traveled, they would have remembered some of these places. But for us, we have no idea where many of these places are. And the idea here isn't to know the places. The idea is just to realize that they just wandered all over the map.
Right. And this is a historical record of where they were.
Yep. So here we go. Chapter 33, verse 1. These are the stages of the people of Israel when they went out of the land of Egypt by their companies under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Moses wrote down their starting places stage by command of the Lord, and these are their stages according to their starting places. They set out from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the day after the Passover, the people of Israel went out triumphantly in the sight of all the Egyptians. So this is taking us back to Exodus chapter 12 and 13. Right. While the Egyptians were bearing all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them on their gods, also the Lord executed judgments. So we're kind of coming back through the plagues.
Right,
it's a
review.
Yep.
Verse 5, so the people of Israel set out from Ramesses and camped at Succoth. And they set out from Succoth and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. And they set out from Etham and turned back to Pi-hahiroth, which is east of Baal-zephon, and they camped before Migdal. And they set out before Good
luck. Yep.
I said it earlier. Ha-hiroth, and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness. And they went a 3 days' journey into the wilderness of Etham and camped at Marah. And they set out from Marah and came to Elim. And at Elim, or Elim, there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. And they set out from Elim and camped by the Red Sea. And they set out from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin.
Okay, so just to interrupt this a little bit. So every time they set out, it was the cloud that was on the tabernacle. Yeah. The cloud lifted up, and they just followed the cloud to where they were going. And so all these places, this is your clouds moving up, and you get millions of people.
Yeah, this is very simplified compared to what really happened. And when they moved in order of their tribes, and the tabernacle is in the middle. And then when they set up camp, they set it up in order with the tabernacle in the middle and 3 tribes on each side.
Yep.
So all of that is assumed.
Yeah, I don't know where we left off. Maybe
I think verse 11.
Yep.
And they set out from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. And they set out from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. And they set out from Dophkah and camped at Alush. And they set out from Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. And they set out from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. And they set out from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattaavah. And they set out from Kibroth Hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth. And they set out from Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. And they set out from Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. And they set out from Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. And they set out from Libnah and camped at Rissa. And they set out from Rissa and camped at Kehelatha. And they set out from
You're doing a great job. Keep going.
Kehelatha and camped at Mount Shepher. And they set out from Mount Shepher and camped at Haradah. And they set out from Haradah and camped at Makaloth. And they set out from Makaloth and camped at Tahath.
Okay, so just interrupt this a little bit just to give us some relief. I remember when we were reading the Bible with our family, we had some struggling readers as our children, and so we would look at the paragraphs and we would read in such a way that they would get the
easier
paragraphs. Mm-hmm. So I gave you the harder paragraph here, and you're doing a great job. I'm just cheering you on. Okay,
All
so
right.
now you got your breath. Keep going.
Okay, I think verse 28. And they set out from Terah and camped at Mithka. And they set out from Mithka and camped at Hashmonah. And they set out from Hashmonah and camped at Maseroth. And they set out from Maseroth and camped at Beni Jaakan. And they set out from Beni Jaakan and camped at Hor Haggidgad. And they set out from Hor Haggidgad and camped at Jotbatha. And they set out from Jotbatha and camped at Abronah. And they set out from Abronah and camped at Ezion Geber, which is modern day Eilat.
Yes. Okay.
I know that one.
Yeah. Okay. So one more, just to interrupt this a little bit. It's interesting. We like watching long distance hikers as they walk the Appalachian Trail or they watch the Pacific Crest Trail.
Like all of
and they talk about,
stops.
I remember that when they stopped here and they just know these places because it kind of consumes every day.
Yeah.
And every place they camped was like a week or two or a month, and
these are like the shelters on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, they would remember these places. Yes.
Okay, verse 36. And they set out from Ezion Geber and camped in the wilderness of Zin, that is Kadesh. And they set out from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, on the edge of the land of Edom.
And Aaron the priest went up Mount Hor at the command of the Lord and died there.
That's
Numbers chapter 20. In the 40th year, after the people of Israel had come out of the land of Egypt on the first day of the fifth month. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. So all these places in which they traveled, right from verse 5 clear to the end of verse 37, is 40 years of camping.
Right. So it's spread out over a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's even 40 locations.
Yeah,
you know?
Yep.
Right. So probably not, because it's not 40 verses.
Right.
Okay, so verse 40. And the Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the Negeb, in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the people of Israel.
And they set out from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmanah, and they set out from Zalmanah and camped at Punan, and they set out from Punan and camped at Oboth, and they set out from Oboth and camped at Abarim in the territory of Moab, and they set out from Iyim and camped at Dibon Gad, and they set out from Dibon Gad and camped at Almon Diblathaim, and they set out from Almon Diblathaim and camped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they set out from the mountains of Abarim and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. It's all kind of set up to bring in the book of Joshua. And they camped by the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab.
Verse 50. And the Lord spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, Speak to the people of Israel and say to them, when you pass over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you and destroy all their figured stones and destroy all their metal images and demolish all their high places. And you shall take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given the land to you to possess it. You shall inherit the land by lot according to your clans. To a large tribe you shall give a large inheritance, and to a small tribe you shall give a small inheritance. Wherever the lot falls for anyone, that shall be his. According to the tribes of your fathers, you shall inherit. But, here's a warning, but if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then those of them whom you let remain shall be as barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they shall trouble you in the land where you dwell. And I will do to you as I thought to do to them.
And we see that they didn't drive out all of them, and they did become barbs and thorns. Okay, so in terms of a summary here of Numbers 33, it is the review of the journeys, review of the 40 years.
40 years of traveling.
40 years of travel. And then just even this charge to drive out Canaanites.
Yep.
Okay, and then in chapter 34, the ESV title says Boundaries of the Land. This is the boundaries of the land that's west of the Jordan River, and how the 9.5 tribes on that side are going to be apportioned the land. It's a big picture of all the land. Okay, so listen to 9.5 tribes. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the people of Israel and say to them, When you enter the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall to you for an inheritance, the land of Canaan, as defined by its borders. So he's going to all the land. Your south side shall be from the wilderness of Zin alongside Edom, and your southern border shall run from the end of the Salt Sea, that's the Dead Sea on the east, and your border shall turn south of the ascent of Akrabim and cross Zin, and its limit shall be south of Kadesh Barnea, and then it shall go on to Hazar Adar and pass along to Asmon, and the border shall turn from Asmon to the brook of Egypt, and its limit shall be at the sea. So, you don't need to know all this stuff. Just know that it's sort of like going to draw a big box around the land that is west of the Jordan.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's basically modern day Israel, fairly similar.
Yep.
Okay, verse 6. For the western border, you shall have the Great Sea and its coast. That's the Mediterranean Sea.
It's really easy. Just
bound
by the sea.
This shall be your western border.
And this shall be your northern borders, south and west and now north. From the Great Sea you shall draw a line to Mount Hor, this way in the north, and from Mount Hor you shall draw a line to Lebo Hamath, and the limit of the border shall be at Zedad. Then the border shall extend to Ziphron, and its limit shall be at Hazar Enan. This shall be your northern border.
You shall draw a line for your eastern border, from Hazar Enan to Shepham. And the border shall go down from Shepham to Riblah on the east side of Ain. And the border shall go down and reach to the shoulder of the Sea of Chinnereth. That's the Sea of Galilee.
Yep.
On the east. And the border shall go down to the Jordan, that's the Jordan River, and its limit shall be at the Salt Sea, or the Dead Sea. This shall be your land as defined by its borders all around.
So we started in the south, and then went to the west, and then the north, and then the east. Moses commanded the people of Israel, saying, This is the land you shall inherit by lot, which the Lord has commanded to give to the 9 tribes and to the half tribe. So remember, there's 2.5 tribes, Reuben, Gad, and half Manasseh, east of the Jordan. And these are the 9.5 tribes to the west of the Jordan. For the tribe of the people of Reuben by the fathers' houses, and the tribe of the people of Gad by their fathers' houses have received their inheritance, and also the half tribe of Manasseh. The 2 tribes and half tribe have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho, toward the sunrise.
Verse 16, the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, These are the names of the men who shall divide the land to you for inheritance. Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun. You shall take 1 chief from every tribe to divide the land for inheritance. These are the names of the men. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. Of the tribe of Simeon, Shemuel, the son of Ammihud. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Eladad, the son of Chislon. Of the tribe of Dan, a chief, Buki, the son of Jogli. Of the people of Joseph, of the tribe of the people of Manasseh, a chief, Haniel, the son of Ephod. And of the tribe of the people of Ephraim, a chief, Kemuel, the son of Shiftan. Of the tribe of the people of Zebulun, a chief, Elzaphan, the son of Parnach. Of the tribe of the people of Issachar, a chief, Paltiel, the son of Azan. And of the tribe of the people of Asher, a chief, Ahihud, the son of Shalomi. Of the tribe of the people of Naphtali, a chief, Pedahel, the son of Ammihud. These are the men whom the Lord commanded to divide the inheritance for the people of Israel in the land of Canaan.
Okay. So we have the boundaries west of the Jordan River, and then the people who are appointed to lead.
Right.
Okay. And we will finish Numbers tomorrow. It's been a long slog.
Yes, we will. So we're almost done, and then we're going to go to the book of Mark.
Yep. And we will do a special recap, summary edition. We'll do that for you as well, just to kind of get a summary view of
so that
Numbers.
should drop tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.